this is a YouTube. This is the 12th of May, 2015. And I wanted to continue, and if I go and give you all the background, this is a continuance of the tape I just put up. And I'm going to entitle it, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe you'll just look and see if this one, if you care to see what's happening. You won't see it on the news, I can tell you. I ran the political campaign in '83 I'd written a book about mind control murders. I'd worked for doctors, modifying behavior and all this, and Larry McDonald, Congressman Doctor, was one of the subjects in the book. Had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of '79, ongoing investigation, national security involved. U.S. Attorney William Harper and Baker, James Baker, assistant, sent the letter to me. Agent Guest was involved. I got a letter from him, FBI. By the way, this is the kind of thing that happened. There was a satellite office in Marietta, been there for years. I went there because I called them when I was doing the book and getting hassled. I didn't know about being kidnapped. I found out in '83 about that and my real name and why all this happened to me. But I went there, and I had to go around back and climb some stairs up, and Agent Guest was there. And as far as I know, those FBI agents were my friends. So I went up, and I'm not sure that's his real name, Guest, Guest, but I talked to him, and I think that was the only time. He sent me a letter, though, and signed it, and it was written in red. Okay, red ink. Well, you don't get stuff from FBI agents like that. I got it. And, but I wanted to say a couple of weeks, I believe it was so short after I left there, the satellite office in Marietta shut down after all these years being there. So this is the kind of stuff that's happened. It's so high, done at such a high level. Now then, I want to get back to, I was flown out to Larry Flynt's in the political campaign to replace Larry McDonald. And I'm leaving out all that was done to me. I've put it up on YouTube and Facebook, and Facebook's been hacked and all this because the law doesn't work for me. High up law is involved in getting people to do things. The people commit crimes. You can stop and think how many crimes can be committed if you own an apartment, and how many infractions, fire, trash, any kind of, well, I'm babbling now. So, like a doctor, look what they did to him that diagnosed me as immune disorder, which I have, and I'm allergic to chemicals, and that's what they used to run me. I've broken every law in the book. When you run a place to live, how would you like to go into where you know you're going to be force-fed poison air? And they get to the maintenance and men, or they get to the owners, or they get to the housekeepers, or they get to. You apply that to any of it. That's what they've done. But I wanted to get back to this real quick. I lived on the Appalachian Trail. From '86, I came here, and I froze, I starved, and it's shocking what people will do. And I've named names, and I know that so many people have gotten mad because you don't tell the truth in it. You really don't. You're told to tell the truth. Oh, no, you don't. Mr. Lovell, I believe is his name, owned a gas station, and the state troopers, Virginia state troopers, used to park the car there, and he fixed their cars. It's in Troutville, where I lived on the trail or had access to it and would go up. And his wife, I only saw her the one time, and he would put out donuts and coffee. I don't know that he did it for me, but he let me have some free because I didn't have any money, and I would freeze and cold and everything. His wife was there one day, and she handed me $2, and I was so glad to get it. And she said, everybody around here knows what's happened to you and going on, but they don't want to get involved. So I'm going to leave it at that. Their place was closed down not long, it was a few years later. they had an audit. So you see where I'm coming from on it. But most people didn't mind going along with law enforcement if, well, I've been told there was where I just left it here. I'm not going to mention it right now, but they soaked me with chemicals. And the owner, by the way, the person that owns it was a McFarland. I see. Now I'm using names, and this is all true. And you see where it gets me. She said her son. What was her words? That was her son, and well, in other words, she implied that she had been gotten to help in what was being done to me too, and I was soaked in chemicals up there, so sick, and left and come back and went out to the National Forest, which is federal campground, soaked with formaldehyde. They've even, over the years, when I'd go out there and walk, when I could walk, they'd soak it and pass it around. And this is true. And I'm going to name one name here. This a lot more. But Archie was the host out there that so much did this to me. And make me, that's illegal, plus it can tear your kidneys up. And you should hear what it did to me every time they put it where I had to, out in the National Forest, can you believe it? I want to get back to this, though. When I started, my jobs were shut down, and I came here in October of '86, lived on the trail, star, froze in the winter. I started getting some income in '99, and that summer I stayed here at Motel 6. This is where I'm at now. It's Howard Johnson's now, and it's older. Back then it was Motel 6, and it was okay. I believe that they had sold it to the Knights Inn. I stayed when I was here then, but it was pretty well kept. I paid for a week, and I met a girl, a real heavy girl that had Appalachian Trail on her shirt, so that got my attention. But I looked back, and she was told to meet me. Someone that worked in the office here was related to her. But here's what she said to me, because this is going to cut out the video. I'm trying to show you along the way what's happened to me. People have been gotten to, and they didn't mind hurting me or using me. But she approached me, and I stayed here a week, and it was okay. That's all the money I had. She took me to pick my check up, and I come back and paid for a month. Well, a couple of days later, they came in and bummed the apartment next to me and came in against me, allowing them in. They came in anyway and sprayed and soaked the everything in it. I had to leave, and I called Patel, who's a part of this whole thing. They've become quite wealthy, and I've named them in here and told you the truth. And people don't like it, and then they go after you again. But I called him, and I told him, I said, I'm allergic to chemicals, and I have at that time, I didn't say I had an immune disorder. I have since the doctor diagnosed me, and I know it's true. Dr. Phillips even had a program on it. Well, you can Google it. Ask any doctor, for God's sake. But anyway, he said, well, if you'll come down here to the Ramada Inn, it's the older one on the other side of Roanoke, and I was way out here at Holland. So I walked about 12 to 15 miles at least in the hot sun that day to get there. When I got there, he said, well, I can't give you any money back, but I can let you stay a few days. So he gave me a room, and I met the woman who was maid, and she said, well, that was my room till a couple of days ago, and it was okay. Well, I started getting sick, and the fumes and all of it billowing out. And I met her downstairs that evening. It was getting dark, and there was another couple. There was 3 other people there. And their words to me were that they had tried to do something. They didn't say what they tried to do, but they'd tried to do something, but it went so high up in the government, in the senators and everything, that they couldn't get anything done. Well, I don't know how hard they tried, because most people went along with law enforcement in getting charges dropped on the kids or whatever, and they went along with what they did to me. So anyway, I want to say this. The woman, the heavy lady with that I just met, I called her, and she given me her number and told me to, and she took me back out in the national forest